Adolescence, the fictional Netflix TV drama so slavishly revered by our media and political class, it wouldn't surprise me if they ordered us to start applauding it on a weekly basis. In reality, Adolescence is a deft work of social engineering based on a complete inversion of the truth. But what's even more shocking is that the government is now set to directly craft policy and legislation around it, with Keir Starmer meeting with its producers and backing a plan to show it in all UK schools. The show portrays the face of toxic online misogyny, knife crime, radicalisation and incel violence as a 13-year-old white boy from a married home, who spends a great deal of time on the receiving end of a moral inquisition by a stern-faced Karen child psychologist. The show's star, Stephen Graham, said, "We made a piece that was based on truth and things that are happening in Britain with young men stabbing young girls to death. But that's not true." The producers admit Adolescence was primarily based on Hassan Sentamu's murder of a 15-year-old black girl. Hassan Sentamu was a Ugandan immigrant, quite clearly not a white British boy. It was perhaps the only example in modern television history where they race-swapped a character to the gainful employment of a white actor. So despite the fact that it would have been both historically and contemporaneously accurate, there was very little concern for diversity casting here. The show was being made as Axel Ruda-Cabana plotted the most vulgar act of radicalised misogynistic violence the UK has ever seen. Yeah, he wasn't white either. Adolescence also featured a white boy as the villain. Despite decades of statistics clearly showing the majority of both perpetrators and victims of knife crime in the UK are ethnic minorities, many of them from broken homes, Adolescence pins youth radicalisation and violence on a selection of familiar scapegoats. Too much free speech and not enough state control of social media, toxic manosphere influencers like Andrew Tate, and by its deliberate selection of this actor, whiteness in general. Just by coincidence, as young white men across the Western world are becoming more right-wing. To absolutely no one's surprise, the solution to all this is more online censorship, more government control of free speech, and more demonisation of masculinity, with a narrow focus on the further demoralisation of young white working-class boys. And no focus on how open borders has directly exacerbated violent crime, street harassments and sexual assaults of women. No spotlight on how the thuggish drill rap music scene is actually responsible for much of the UK's violent crime wave, and no discussion of how the overwhelming bulk of radicalisation centres on Islamic extremism. No surprise then when we learn that the charity partnered with Adolescence, the group that helped launch it, Tender, received over £3 million in government contracts and grants over the last 4 years. And yesterday, Tender's CEO met with the Prime Minister. Starmer rejected a new inquiry into the grooming gang scandal, but he's all in on crafting new policy and laws based on a work of literal fiction, government-funded, deliberately misleading, a carefully honed tool of indoctrination. And now kids up and down the country are going to have it crammed down their throats as part of this new astroturfed moral panic.
No! Stop it, please, I beg you!
I haven't seen a more blatant example of top-down social engineering since the dark days of lockdowns and mask mandates. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.